Hey there. Okay, today I told you I'm doing something sweet again. Last week with electricians here and they love the sweets. So I am making Wacky cake. Anybody ever heard of this? So I got this recipe. It even has a plastic sleeve, which means I've made it many times over the years from my friend Terry Wood in Nashville, Tennessee. Well, technically Brentwood. And this was one of the first cakes I used to make kind of on some frequency because it's really easy. But the history on Wacky cake is really cool, and I only recently learned about it. It was a cake that was kind of created during the Depression era because it involved no dairy and no eggs, which were luxury items back then. And I figured, since we're all still doing the coronavirus thing in certain phases of whatever, this might be a fun one because it's pretty much all pantry ingredients, things that you have on hand. Sugar and flour, well, maybe you have those on hand. I know it's been a little bit scarce. Cocoa powder, baking soda, salt, vinegar, oil, and then cold water. And I'm gonna do a little twist on this by doing some cold coffee. Coffee is a great enhancer of chocolatey things. So I will be combining this with a bourbon salted caramel sauce. Yes, because I like to take things up a little level. And this cake on its own is delicious. You can frost it. You can just do ice cream or whipped cream. But what's fun is you basically sift your dry ingredients together and then you make 3 little wells in the dry ingredients with your vanilla, your vinegar, and your oil. And then you pour cold water over the top, mix it all together, and boom, your cake's ready to go. Bake it, that's it. And it is super, super moist. It's just really different and really good. So I'll be doing it in a 13 by 9 and I'm super excited to show you guys Wacky cake. Let's get started. Okay, so I have sifted my ingredients. You want to do the sifting. It's an important step because it aerates and lightens the ingredients, brings everything together, but it mostly just helps make a really light and fluffy cake when you do this step. So sifting, very important. So I sifted the dry, which is flour, granulated sugar, cocoa powder, baking soda, and salt. So that's what I got in here. And now it's like a little fun science project. You can kind of zoom in here. I'll take my whisk out. I'm gonna take and make kind of 3 separate little wells. And I'm not exactly sure the major purpose of this, but vanilla. And then this is 2 tablespoons of vinegar and vegetable oil. That might spill over, but it's okay because I'm gonna be covering it quickly with 2 cups. It should be cold water, but I'm switching it up and doing a little bit of coffee and water. So I got a mixture. And that's it, y'all. And now I'm just gonna gently mix this together. And you can kind of hear it bubbling. That's the reaction of the vinegar with the baking soda. And some recipes for this will actually have you just do this step directly in the baking dish. I feel like it's a little bit messy, so I'm doing it in a bowl. Plus it's a little easier to show you guys that part. But just whisking this together, getting it till it's just mixed, and then I will be pouring it right into my 9 by 13. I did put a little bit of baking spray in there, just in case there's any sort of stickage, but you're not trying to pull this out in like perfect cake slices or something. Like I said, this is great topped with frosting, but I'm gonna do some bourbon salted caramel sauce coming up next. So I'll show you how I put that together, and then at the end we'll have one final show-stopping tasting. It'll be so, so fun. So to get started on the bourbon salted caramel, I just have a cup of sugar and a 1/4 cup of water. I've just gently stirred those to combine, and then make sure I don't have any like going up the sides as best I can. Just turn the pan on high heat just to get it started, but I'm gonna turn it down to medium high because it'll get going pretty quick. Trying to show you what the medium high heat does. So it's bubbling. When I was over the pan, it steamed up the screen, but the whole key, like I said, is do not stir it. Don't touch it. Let it do its thing. Let it bubble away. And it's been about 3 minutes or so right now.
We'll check it and I'll let you know about, I'm trying to keep track of the time so I can give you a good estimate, but it will begin to start turning like a light yellow into like kind of a amber into a darker color. And the trick is kind of not to let it develop flavor and get darker color, but not get too dark so it has like a burnt taste. Okay, it's been almost 8 minutes. Oh. Okay, I will tell you, when it turns this color, it turns this color fast. Now, I was gonna say also, don't do any of this swirl action. Like now it's getting closer to being okay to do that, but you'll see there's a little bit darker spot. I'm gonna turn off the camera now. Or actually I won't. I'll do it now. I can do it on camera. This, you guys, is heavy whipping cream. Turn the heat off. When I pour this in, this is why it's in such a deep pot. It's gonna up, as you'll see. But room temperature cream is the key. Look at that. Crazy town. I gotta stay back. I'm gonna whisk. Ooh, it's hot, a little steam. In fact, I'll kind of shove this off the heat. But you can see what happens. It just, and that's with room temperature. If it was cold, what would happen is it would seize up all the sugar. So whisking that in, and then I've got butter that's gonna go in. This is a 1/4 cup of butter. I'm not plopping it down, I'm setting it on here so it'll gently plop in. And that's gonna get whisked in. I am not a good one-handed camera girl, sorry people. Oh, luscious caramel. It's really easy, even though it deals with hot sugar. It's just easy peasy, people. Okay, so off the heat, I'm gonna whisk this in, and then right here, I've got my bourbon and a little bit of vanilla. And you wanna, again, do that off the heat so there's no chance of any flame or anything. And then the salted part, some fine sea salt. You don't wanna do real like chunky salt because that would be, yeah, chunky. So anyways, I'll keep whisking this up and show you the glorious final. Oh, now, because I let my sugar, water mixture get a little darker, my caramel's a little darker, but I like a deeper, darker flavor. If you don't like it that dark and you want it a little more sweet, then you would just, once it's a little bit lighter brown, then you add the cream and that'll stop the cooking. I have a little extra on the side, but that's my jar of goodness. Refrigerate up to 2 weeks or else use right away. Yum, yum, can't wait to put it with the cake. Oh my gosh. Bourbon salted caramel sauce, the most moist, dense, wacky cake, and a little ice cream. I want to say, just for the note, it's 5:45 p.m. So I haven't even had dinner, but I do have a sign in my house that says, eat dessert first, life is uncertain. It's from my mom. Okay, you guys, I had just a little like crumb of the cake before I put all this goodness on here, and it's insane. It's super light, super moist. It's just, it's all the things. Okay, the combination is out of this world. I'm gonna go back in for a second bite just to double check. Oh my God. I'm gonna talk fast because I can't wait to eat all that. Maybe it'll be my dinner. Okay, wacky cake. No eggs, no milk, Depression era cake, but future era, amazing. Just give this a try. It is so easy, pantry ingredients, super moist. I'm gonna be giving it away to the electricians tomorrow when they get here because they love the sweets. You can do whipped cream with it. You can just do plain. You can do the salted caramel, bourbon salted caramel sauce or not. You could frost it. It's really versatile. It's cheap to make and it's just good. Wacky or not, it's just good. So give Wacky Cake a try. Delight of the bite, subscribe, share, tell your friends, and let people know I'm here. I get a few subscribers each week, but I'd love to make it get even more. It's so great. And you can help me out when you comment and share and all those things. The recipe will be underneath the video. And if you haven't checked out my Instagram, it's at Delight of the Bite. And I think that's it. Thank you so much for tuning in. I don't know what's coming up because
the electrical work is finally completed. So no more cooking sweets for me. I need to not have this stuff around because it's dangerous. But thanks for watching. Have a great night. Bye-bye.